get it done again.
That's how it sounded on Titans Radio, 27-3. As we welcome you into the fourth hour of JMart and Ramon, 11-year NFL veteran involved for life, Ramon Foster, Jonathan Schaefer. I'm Jason Martin, at Ramon Foster, at Schaefer on Sports, at JMart Radio, at JMart and Ramon. I was telling Rhett Bryan, who walked in of Titans Radio during the break, there was a moment there towards the end of the first half where the Titans almost had run more plays than the Chiefs had yards. And I was waiting to see if it would happen because like 2 minutes left in the half, I think the Chiefs had 35 yards of offense. And the Titans had called somewhere around 29 or 30 plays. We got way too close. It was utter domination yesterday by the two-tone blue. The defense, a large part of the reason holding the Chiefs to 3 points is something that I don't know if it's ever happened in the Mahomes era, as a matter of fact. Just an outstanding performance all the way around, and one of the guys responsible for it, one of the leaders on this defense for years, joins us right now on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline of your Tennessee Titans. Kevin Byard is with us. Kevin, good morning. I'm sure it is a good morning for you guys.
Absolutely, it's a great morning. You know, it's a Victory Monday, so you're feeling good.
So what's happened over the last week with this football team? First with the Bills and with the Chiefs, because everybody is now paying attention to the Tennessee Titans across the country.
Yeah, man, we're just going about our business the way we do things. We're not getting caught up in, trying to prove everybody wrong and, from the national attention that we're getting. We're just continuously trying to do us and prove ourselves right. And that's just that's our mentality every single week, just a resilient bunch of guys that is going to fight and defend every blade of grass. And we was able to get a big win yesterday against Kansas City, but, it's still early in the year, man. We're not going to take the cheese and start feeling ourselves and, smelling too much of ourselves. And we're just going to keep handling the business and trying to collect W's.
So I remember, the Jets thing happens, and then you play against Jacksonville, and I remember listening to a couple of guys afterwards saying they wish they had done more. David Long came on with us right after that win, and he said, there's a couple of plays I wish I could have back and some things I want to shore up and things. But then it feels like you guys just have continued to play more and more complete. Was there a moment this season where you guys galvanized, where it started to feel a little bit different? You've been around this team for a while, where you guys really started to gel as a unit, and then yesterday, of course, played your most complete game.
Well, honestly, man, I felt like in training camp, this was one of the better training camps we've had as a defense. I feel like we really gelled and got close in training camp. And, you talk about the Jets game, I wouldn't say it was just a moment, but, when we break down the film and we look at ourselves as a defense, if we don't give up big plays, whether if it's in the pass game or the run game, there's not too many teams that can just drive the ball on us continuously and constantly. So I think breaking down that film kind of proved to us to say, hey, we don't give up these big plays we did in the passing game. We played a dominant game. And I just think that it kind of was, a surefire way to shore up everything to say, hey, we don't give up big plays. We can affect the quarterback and get after the quarterback, and we can play physical, up front and on the back end. Those are going to be recipes for us to be dominant as a defense. And I'm always trying to give daily and weekly and minutely and hourly reminders that, hey, if we continue to do these things, but we could be dominant. So we proved it on Sunday.
One thing that's got to be brought up, if we look back on last year and how you guys are trying to come together, now you at this point now where Shane Bowen's calling this this defense, and you guys are making plays and seem to be coming together at the right time in spite of having guys out, man. What has he meant for you guys and his play calling and the leadership that he's brought this year, being at the head of the DC position?
Yeah, Shane, last year, obviously it was a rough year for everybody involved. It wasn't you can't necessarily pinpoint one thing. Nobody had a great year. Everybody had a down year. And I think with Shane Bowen coming to his second year being a defensive coordinator, being a lot more comfortable with the personnel, being comfortable with, the guys, and me being a leader on the team, I'm always trying to talk to Shane, and we're always talking about different things. But honestly, man, it's more about the execution, man. I think guys are executing very well. John was able to bring in some really good free agent signings like Danico and Bud and Ola and all these guys, Jack Rabbit, did a great job. So these guys that came in and gave us another spark. And like I said, I think guys are executing. We're just having fun, man. You even see on Sunday, man, we're out here having fun. And that's what I try to tell the guys even before the game, like, this is still a game. Obviously this is a business, but it is a game. And when you're having fun, that's when you're out here dominating. So that's when, it's been a lot of fun this year, honestly.
One thing that's got to be brought up, man, is just looking at yesterday, the way you closed on Patrick Mahomes on that strip fumble was huge. But at that point, I think you guys realized offensively and defensively, and just as a team, hey, today is our day. Did you have that feeling when it came down to watching this game unfold the way it did? Although we had a caller say y'all should have dropped 50 on them, but did you have that feeling? Hey, today's our day.
Yeah, honestly, once I got that forced fumble, I was like, man, and since I've been here with the Titans, we've never had a first half like that, which is great. It's like the offense, they talked about it all throughout the week, wanted to go out there and start fast. They went out there clicking on all cylinders. Defense, we're out here clicking on all cylinders, getting after the quarterback. And when I forced the fumble, obviously that was a 2-minute drill, and then we go into halftime up 27-0. It's just a great feeling going to the locker room, and just kind of sense on the sideline, like, man, this is our day. And now I'm over on the sideline yelling, like, let's not give up no points. I mean, I was kind of upset we gave us the 3 points after halftime, but then I was like, man, we cannot give up any more points. We want this, win to, really go down, to be memorable. Us, beating the Chiefs at home in that type of fashion. So, like I said, man, just a fun win, man. It was just incredible atmosphere.
Titans DB Kevin Byard with us here on JMart and Ramon. Kevin, was anything surprising yesterday that you hadn't seen on tape or anything that Kansas City attempted to do? I mean, you guys obviously seem to be very prepared for what they brought, but I'm curious if anything surprised you, maybe that you thought they would do that they weren't able to do against you guys?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, going to the game, you see injury reports, and, Travis Kelce had like a stinger, and Tyreek Hill had a quad or something like that. So, if anything was surprising was that, I was anticipating them trying to take more shots. Obviously, they ran some deeper routes down the field. Don't get me wrong, we had them covered, so they wasn't able to take a lot of shots. But, going into halftime, we kind of anticipated that, they were going to try to start doing some screens and stuff, which they actually start hitting on us early in the second half, and then afterwards just kind of shut everything down. But I wouldn't say it was too much that surprised us, man. I mean, but I sit here and say that I felt like we was going to beat these guys 27-3. No, not necessarily. I mean, that would probably be a surprising thing for me. But like I said, we really went into this game feeling like we can beat these guys. And I talked about it in the media yesterday, man. There's not a team in the NFL that we feel like we can't beat if we play our best brand of football. So that's how we're going to take this film and use this as an example to say, hey, we play like this, we can beat anybody.
As somebody that plays with a lot of pride and loves to see your teammates succeed, look, you talked about injuries to them. You guys are banged up big time in that secondary. Right. Crookshank's out there playing big time. Elijah Molden, the rookie, I'd like to hear what you think about him right now. I mean, Greg Maben rejoins the team and plays every snap. Like, that secondary so banged up. Just tell us a little bit about those guys going out there and battling with you yesterday.
Yeah, I love bragging on my guys. I mean, you talk about Elijah Molden, who I kind of spoke to, during training camp when he had his game, the preseason game against Tampa Bay. I mean, the guy's a savvy rookie. I mean, you don't see a lot of rookies coming in, starting this early in the year and being able to, I mean, we're communicating, like, we're mixing this guys in coverages. We're doing different things. He's really coming to his own. Dane Crookshank, I mean, we had an unfortunate, late injury to Amani. He ended up on the injury report, and Dane has to go out there and start. He goes out there and straps Travis Kelce pretty much the entire game. I'm so proud of him. And like you said, Maben, who literally just rejoined the team early in the week, and now he's up playing in the game, playing meaningful snaps, made some great tackles out there, made some good plays. I mean, we're just a resilient bunch, man. We talk about it, in meetings and in the locker room. Like, hey, if you got a jersey on, you got shoulder pads on during the game, I mean, and you're up, and you're in the game, you're going to be treated like a starter. And that's just the expectation, the standard that we've, come to, expect from ourselves. So we're going to keep it going, man. Like I said, we're not going to take the cheese. We understand we still have some things to clean up. We got to get some guys healthy on the entire team, not just the defense and the secondary. So we're just going to keep trying to stack wins, like I said.
So let me ask you one question. Is Derrick Henry the MVP of the NFL right now, if you had a vote?
I mean, I've been screaming his name, Derrick Henry's name for MVP the past few weeks, man. The importance that he has for us on our team, I mean, is unlike, any other team in the league. And when you talk about a non-quarterback player, I mean, he obviously didn't ran for 100 yards yesterday and had all the touchdowns and stuff. But, I mean, the guy still had 29 carries. He was still able to wear down the defense towards the end of the game. And, like I said, man, he threw a touchdown. So, I mean, what can't this man do? He throw touchdowns, catch touchdowns, running touchdowns. I mean, how can you not vote him as the MVP this year?
One thing I know for sure, players don't like talking about themselves. But for you, last year felt like you were, not yourself in a sense. So maybe you was just trying to cover up a lot of things that were in front of you or behind you, man. How does it feel like having the rush help the secondary and you being Johnny on the spot like you always have been? Just if you would quickly, like, how does it feel like getting back to yourself and your play also on the field?
No, I mean, you spoke to it, man. When you have a pass rush, when I'm back, even yesterday, man, when I'm back deep, obviously we're playing a lot of two high, two shell coverages and stuff, and I'm back there and I'm watching Patrick Mahomes trying to scramble around, and Nico, Harold, Bud, Jeff, and all those boys getting sacked. It's a beautiful feeling, especially when you can get up on guys, you can rush the passer, and you realize, hey, the ball's gonna be coming my way. I mean, I didn't get an interception yesterday, but it's great, man. Honestly, I took last year as probably my biggest growth year as a player on and off the field. Not having the usual success that I'm used to having, ever since college, and that was one of my down years statistically. And I kind of took that and grew from it, and took this off season and really got back in the lab, changed everything, my eating habits, just everything. And I feel like this year I'm just playing faster, and I just kind of got to a point where, last year really wasn't that. I wouldn't say it wasn't that fun for me, but just with talk about COVID, you use a bunch of excuses. But this year I'm just back to having fun. Not thinking too much, just using what I watch on film and just reacting and triggering and just running fast to the ball. And, the ball's been, finding my way. So I hope that I can keep doing this for my defense, man, because they expect these big-time plays from me every week.
Kevin, so he just talked about the pass rush, and we've gushed about Danico Autry quite a bit. I mean, Ola's played well. Bud's finally getting back to himself. But two guys that I bet you're very proud of. Harold Landry is balling out, and David Long is playing outstanding football. Just before we let you go, speak on those two guys for a bit.
Yeah, so Harold Landry, obviously a guy who's in his contract year. And, I mean, this guy's just, he's incredible, man. I think he's probably had a sack in every single game. I mean, he's like leading the NFL or close to the NFL lead in pressures. And, I'm just happy to see a guy because, I mean, Ramon, you played this game. You understand, guys are in contract years and stuff, and they go out there and ball out, and you're just happy for him and happy for the success that he's having. So, I mean, he's always been a guy for us that's always, getting sacks and getting pressure. But to see him having a career year at the right time is beautiful to see. And David Long, man, the guy has been coming to his own. When he was first, obviously drafted on the team, he played behind Jayon Brown and couldn't really get a lot of snaps and stuff like that. But, you never know how these things work. Jayon, unfortunately, has, pretty much took the spot, man, hasn't looked back, man. I mean, the guy plays with just, his hair on fire, man. He plays with passion. He honestly, man, just being real, even as a young player, man, he's one of our emotional leaders on the defense. Like, he's in the huddle, getting guys fired up. And, I mean, just the way he plays, man, he makes a big hit and guys feed off that energy. So, I mean, I can't speak any more good about David Long. I mean, this guy is incredible. Love playing with him out there.
Real quick, two things. Are y'all getting Chipotle catered to the facility? Number one. And also, let Ben Jones know, man, like, I salute him. And if we have to start a GoFundMe to get him all the rehab and
Kickstarter, whatever it is, we can do it.
But I feel for him, man. Like, tell him for me, get up quicker, okay? Like, but we'll start the GoFundMe to fund his rehab.
Nah, listen, so first off, we're definitely not catering Chipotle. And don't get me wrong, I like Chipotle. I'm not a hater of Chipotle. I hate that they got AJ Brown sick, but I mean the guy had a flu game, so I can't be too mad. He balled out against Buffalo. But honestly, man, you just spoke about Ben Jones. I was on the sideline. We were on the sideline as the defense, and I'm sitting here like, man, every time I see this guy Ben Jones hits the ground and he has to get up, it hurts me to see him have to get up off the turf. Ben Jones is the toughest football player, might be the toughest person I've ever been around. I mean, this guy's pain tolerance is astronomical. It's on another level. I mean, like you said, man, we'll definitely have to start a GoFundMe because, I mean, he's always in the training room. I mean, even just to get to practice sometimes, man, I've seen this guy with all type of tape around his leg and braces and all this stuff. I mean, he loves the guys. I mean, he's really one of the team guys on the team that he does it for us. He doesn't just do it for him. Obviously, he's in pain and dealing with different injuries, but he does it for us. He's the center. He's, obviously he's the quarterback in the offensive line. He wants to be out there making the checks and helping, our offense be successful. So when you see that guy laying on the ground and he's making those faces, he's legit in pain, but he doesn't want to come out the game because he wants to help the team win. So can't speak enough good about Ben Jones either.
Well, Kevin,
I know.
Yeah, Kevin, congrats on the win. I know you guys will prepare hard for another one this week. Go whoop the Colts on Sunday and put this division right in your grasp.
That's the plan, buddy. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. That's Kevin Byard, man.
Hey,
Ben Jones is tough, man, but it's a Tots and Paris situation.
Boy.
Week in,